Okay, this is a very quick and simple Valentine's Day card. It would be great to mass produce. We need a mask, and we actually need both parts of the mask. I cut this on the Cricut using the storybook cartridge. You can find these pointed square type shapes and a lot of cartridges and different dies. Just be sure that when you cut it, you cut it more in the center of whatever paper you're using, so you have some background or some edge to it, because we'll be needing both pieces of this. I'm going to start with the actual image, and I'm going to use some removable adhesive to attach this down to the middle of my card. Maybe just a hair towards the top. Okay. All right. And then I have a woodblock stamp. This one is from Hero Arts. And I'm going to ink it up with some brown ink. I'm using Close to Cocoa from Stampin' Up, which works well with their crumb cake or craft cardstock. Use any kind of brown. And I find these work better if you take the card and flip it over on top of the background stamp. And because I used a fairly thin piece of paper for my mask, that will help also get a better impression. Press that really good. Okay. Now, before I take the mask off, I'm going to add a little bit more. I use a sponge, and I've got a little bit of a red ink, and I want just a touch of the red, not a lot. And I'm working here around the edges of my mask. Trying to get into those corners. And also, I'm going to add a little bit of the brown ink, the Close to Cocoa. And go over the edges of this with the Close to Cocoa as well. And then when I pull my mask off, I'll have an even more defined mask area because I used the inks. Now for the design on the card, I'm working with a set from Hampton Arts called Who Loves You, and this has been around for a couple of years, but it's a great Valentine set, and there's more to it. It doesn't come in the jewel case. I put it in the jewel case. It has an owl and some other things as well, but I love this tree. So I'm going to be using the tree and Versamark ink, and I'm going to take my embossing buddy, and you could use a dryer sheet as well. Go over. Oh, and before I actually ink, this is where I need my other mask. So I'll take this one and put some ink along the edges, removable adhesive along the edges. Fit that over the empty space on the card. Now when I stamp my tree, I don't have to stamp the entire tree. It'll just show up where I want it to show up. Okay, so careful. Using clear Versamark ink, and then I'm going to remove my mask and use some white embossing powder. Now, one thing you may run into with your removable adhesive is some of your embossing powder may cling to it, and just brush that off before you actually do your embossing. And I'll brush the rest of that off, and then I'm going to go heat this up, and we'll be ready for the rest of the card. The greeting that I've chosen is just a simple hugs and kisses, since this is a Valentine's Day card. I'm going to ink that in red ink. Stamp that on my card. And I'm also going to go around the inside edge with a white gel pen. You could leave it like this, or if you liked having a little bit of a border, go around and you could do a solid line, dotted, stitches. I'm doing the stitched look. Okay, the last couple of steps for our card, we need to put, I'm going to put some additional hearts on here. And if you didn't have this tree, this same image, you could use a regular tree and just punch some hearts and add to it. Or there's lots of other pretty images that would look good here. I think some of those silhouette images, like the little girls that are swinging on the swing, I think those would look really nice on this kind of inset sort of look. But since I have a tree and the hearts, I'm going to punch out with a small heart punch a few hearts, and I'll use glue dots to attach those. Go like that. And just working with some scraps here, maybe one there. Okay. Add those with glue dots. Okay. Alright, my hearts are attached, and so my last step is some baker's twine. I'm going to go around the card twice. And then I'll tie my baker's twine in a bow down here towards the bottom of the card. Okay. And that's it. A very quick and easy Valentine's Day card. These would be great to mass produce. You could do the different steps and give some time for different things to dry. So, and it's a very inexpensive card too, because it's mostly single layer. You're just using a few scraps of pattern paper, a little baker's twine, and your background paper. So I hope you enjoyed my card today, and be sure and visit my blog for more information. Thank you.